Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mortgage Coach. My name is Lori Lytle, and I'll be hosting today's training. First off, to give you an overall review of what we're going to do, I'm going to be showing you our new Rate Watch app. Make sure you have that downloaded. Then we're going to go in and create a TCA on Compare and MI. And with this, you're going to learn how to use the copy button, see the differences in MI, monthly, borrower paid, and I'll bring that report up and review exactly what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the reinvestment screen as well as Edge Live. But first, before we start, I want to launch a poll question to be able to see your status out there. So I have Marcy on the line. Marcy works in our support department. If you have email questions, you might have heard from her. So Marcy, let's go ahead and launch the polls. Just a couple questions that we would like you to answer. And then here we go. Thank you. So how many EDGE reports have you created? This also helps in the training aspect of the level. So please go ahead and respond to that poll. As soon as we get 100%, we'll move on. So we're getting there. We appreciate it. Good. I got a lot of good responses here. So let's try to get a couple more votes in. Try to get it to at least 75%. We're at 64 right now. Almost there. We got 71. Come on, a couple more people. Let's go ahead and respond, and then we'll close out that question and move on. Okay. Well, I see the percentages, Marcy, so let me go ahead and read them off. I'm showing that 18% of you have created 0 to 5 reports, so that is great. We'll show you a lot of tools to be able to teach you with Edge. 27% is at 6 to 10. 17% is 11 to 20, and I got 33% doing 20 plus, so that's great. The training covers both basic as well as we're going to get into that reinvestment to show level payment, so that's good for all of you. So Marcy, go ahead and let's launch the next poll. Okay. So now our next poll question, have you used Edge Live? All right. Okay, we're getting quite a bit. Let's see how that goes. Okay, let's a couple more. This is a neat one. You guys are going to love this part. This is the nicest piece in Edge. Okay, I have 36% say yes. That's great. It would be great to be able to hear from you on your results. And then the others have not. So we'll go ahead, and 64% of you have not. So it's going to be a real treat to learn how that process works. And when we have another last poll question. So Marcy, go ahead and launch that one. So now what we're asking is, how often do you use a video with your presentation? So, you know, we want to see how many people are really using that video, and we'll be also showing you how to use that as well. So get a few more people responding. Great. You guys are really doing good on this one. Thank you very much. So a couple more people just answer, and then we'll close out the poll. Okay, so on the video, 25%, we got 44% of you, 20% of your reports have a video, 11% use 50%, another 11% at 75, and only 33% at 100%. So good, we're going to cover the video and why the importance it is to be able to add that to your report. So if you could go ahead and close out that poll, Marcy, that'd be great. And now let's go ahead and let's talk about Rate Watch. So you'll be able to see my screen, and I have our desktop version of Rate Watch side by side with our new app. So now we have Rate Watch as an app. So with this, I'm going to show you briefly the app and how to use it, and then I'm going to show you how to download it. And also the way we're using GoToMeeting is by taking, we provided links to Edge, our website Mortgage Coach, as well as our mobile apps. You'll see the mobile link for the Rate Watch app, as well as our Edge app, our Mortgage Coach app, which will provide a viewer for all these reports. So we'll be showing you all that's in your chat box, and I also want you to open up your question area and GoToMeeting. So please, as we go through this training today, ask any questions, because we're here and this is your training event, so we want to hear and answer any type of questions. So looking at Rate Watch right now, you can see this is our mobile app here, and You'll be able to download it easy. It's free. I also want to point out in the upper left-hand corner, this, if you press that button, you'll see that you'll have all the different items that you can go into, just like at the very top of the desktop version. So with that, you can go to the home page, which is what we're seeing here. This is the same as the front page of your desktop application. Moving back, you also have your day watch, and that is moving to the day watch. This is showing the movements of today. So you can see at the opening bell how the mortgage-backed securities have risen and fallen throughout the day. If it drops, you'll be able to get an alert, so you'll be able to receive that, and you'll also be able to receive that on the apps. So going back to the menu here, if you also have alerts, if there are any for the day, that's this tab here. And you can see we have no alerts yet for today. It's a good thing. And then now, Edge views. This is great. These are your Edge alerts. So as you create reports, you'll be able to see if anyone's viewed them. Besides receiving the email alerts, you'll be able to see it in Edge and RateWatch as well. Now moving to our commentary section, this is really be able to be great for you, because if you have been watching those Dan RateWatch videos, you'll be able to do it on your mobile app too. So you'll be able to have that handy and be able to see any kind of market updates, because Neil posts a lot of economic news. It's all in a written format, so you'll be able to see the information on, whoops, bring it back over here. Economic news, besides the information of the numbers above, he also goes and talks about the unemployment benefits and things like that. So whatever was happening today, you'll be able to see that in Neil's commentary. And now moving back to the Lenders tab, this is where it's really cool on that app there. This is where you can see the average movements with multiple lenders. So this is average rate sheets, and you can see at the top you could choose FHA conforming jumbo as well as fixed on ARM. So we have quite a few different lenders in here, and how you read it is 24 people have better pricing today, but you have 80% of those lenders actually have negative pricing, so they've raised those rates. You also, this is showing all lenders, and you also have the option to show my lenders as well. So to be able to set up your RateWatch app, I just want to show you one more item. If you go to the desktop version, we have this settings area here, which will pull out a sidebar. This is where you could go ahead and fill out your information to receive those alerts. So you have choose which the items you want to be able to receive. Put your cell phone number in here. And when you want to receive those email alerts, do you want to receive them on an hourly basis? If so, mark them all, or just decide when you want to receive them. If you want to choose any specific lenders to follow, you can always do select lenders, and this will be able to let you go through the list, choose the lenders you want to be able to identify quickly. You can add it to your list over here, build your list. You can also remove it by clicking on it, and it will take it out of the list or remove all. We also have a filter here, so you can go ahead and do a search by lender through the filter. And application settings, you want to be able to launch application on startup. This will be your desktop. Play sound on alerts if you want to hear that, and at opening and close. We have just enable my Edge views, so that way I'll be able to see those alerts. And then we also have a help button here. So once you've updated all your settings, make sure you press submit, because that will actually take that information and send it to us, and then you'll be able to start receiving those alerts. Okay, so now let's go ahead and discuss how you can download this app. So again, there is a link within the chat box, but just to show you, it's actually quite simple. You go to the App Store, and you'll see that I have searched for RateWatch, and then when you do, you'll be able to get RateWatch Live. So search by RateWatch or RateWatch Live. That will take you directly to the download. You can see I've already downloaded it, but go ahead and download it. It is a free app, and we want you to be able to have that information at your fingertips. So with that, if you have any questions, go ahead and place them in the chat box or in the question area. As of now, let me go ahead and turn off my reflector, and let's start diving into Edge. So let's move that, and let me bring another screen over. Okay, so today we're going to discuss different mortgage options, but it's not just the different mortgage options I'm going to be showing you, it's also how to use Edge Live to be able to explain these options to your consumer, as well as working the reinvestment strategy so you'll be able to do all level payments and really understand that process. So as we build a product for monthly MI, then we're going to show a product for lender-paid MI with the increase of interest rate right here. Then we'll create a single premium. And this one's a little tricky right now because the single premium hasn't been fully decided to be part of that 3% fee cost rule. So you would have to watch that, and we'll discuss that a little bit more when we get into that product. And then I'm also going to show you an 80-10-10. So this is also a great product to be able to show. So we're going to dive in to be able to create all these. So not only that, with the 80-10-10, you're going to learn how to do a second lien as well. We'll go through how to create fee and product templates, and then follow up using Edge Live and how to do the reinvestment strategy screen. So now I want to dive back into Edge. And let me go to our home screen. For those of you who are new on the call, this is our home screen. And the client-facing reports, borrower-facing reports, those are our total cost analysis and the rent versus own reports. That's in the client section here. Lower section is our partner section. So that's the open house flyer and the seller buy down. And these are, you'd be able to brand it with yours as well as that realtor's information or your partner. So that's what you, how do you be able to start it down there. Starting a new file for the client section, you would click on new client, and for partner section, you would click on new partner. Going real quickly in our settings, this is where you want to check your contact information. You'll be able to see the information here. If you're on a enterprise account, you might have, which means that your company has provided membership to you and they have a account with us and it's an enterprise account. They might have locked down some of the fields, and you'll see that in gray here. If you have any modifications to this that you need made, either contact your administrator or contact us at support, and we'll assist you. But individual or enterprise account, always make sure that this information is correct, as well as having your branch address over here. Always press save. And one last item I want to mention is on the license number, make sure you put the MLS number in front of it, so that way you have the identifier in front of your number. Now I want to take you to our image tab. You want to go ahead and upload your image here as well as your logo. And again, on an enterprise account, you might have this logo already loaded for you, and you might have it locked down where you can't change it. But you do have the option to upload both these images through the Browse button. When we're done with the report, we'll come back and talk about fee and product templates afterwards. But now let's go back to home. One last item, if you're following along with me, and I encourage you to be in your Edge account and follow along so you could have that touch and feel, and if you can, create the report with me so you'll be able to see and work through it together. So I also want to point out our help button. So if you click on help, it takes you to our knowledge base, and we have so many video tutorials for you to use. So reinvestment strategy, we're going to cover that today, but if you want further details about that, we have a great Edge video tutorial you can use. Also, how to create individual reports. We have quick tips down here just to be able to go through. These are less than 3 minutes, so if you want to be able to see those. And what I want to do is show you how these look. So if I click on how to read a TCA, you can see that we have a YouTube link as well as a direct download. So if your company has blocks on YouTube, we do have a direct download for you to use. We also have a search engine, so if you're asking for questions on MI, say, you could type MI, and you'll see that all the video tutorials associated with MI will display for you. So now I'm going to go back to Edge, and let's start creating the report. Before we start it, I want to show you how I created the report. So we're going to touch base on our View All screen, and I can also touch base on how you can copy a report. So go ahead and watch this View All. As soon as I pick my report, for those of you who are following along, you're going to want to click on New Client to start a new file. So let's click on View All, and this area is showing you all your different loan or records that you've created for the different borrowers. I created one on comparing MI. And if you click on that arrow, you'll see all the different reports that have been created. So you can see in my friendly name field, and I'll tell you what that is, how you can put a description in that area, and you could also do a copy. So what I did is initially create my working copy, which is the report you saw, and then what I did is use the copy button. The copy button will allow me to keep it in the same client, which I have over here, or new clients. So say you have a product that you've already done mortgage insurance comparison. You want to use it for another client? Click on that and just strips out the contact information. Then all you have to do is go update the loan amount and rates and if your fees change. So it's a quick way of having one report created and starting another one off with a lot of that data already filled out. So I'm going to press cancel here. And I'm going to double click on the file that I have already started. If you're starting and working with me, go ahead and click on new client at this particular moment. I just want to check one thing. I got to go into my other file, just one moment. Perfect. So to let you know, I've filled out data. We're going to go through it for the first 4 screens, but I did clear out my product so we would be able to create those together. So that's why I did my copy, was to be able to have the exact report that I displayed for you here, but I stripped out all the dollar amounts and data so we would be able to work on that portion together. So now taking us to the front screen, and you can see how I'm moving around Edge by just clicking on the different fields. So I went ahead and started with client, and you'll see I have the information already filled out. I have the title of my report. It's just saying comparing MI. And if you're following along while I'm just explaining these fields, feel free to create the report by the data I'm providing you. So with the report headline, you'll notice I have the word marketing. If you're doing it in individual and you want first name, last name, just go ahead and click on individual and it will provide you all those 3 fields. Also, with privacy, you might want to go ahead and maybe only put the first name and leave that last name empty. And the reason for it, a lot of privacy issues, not wanting to put things out on the web. Our reports are secure, but we understand the client's concern. So I just wanted to let you know about that last name. So as you're moving through, let me place it back on marketing with the one report headline. That's the only difference. You could place in the home phone number if you want to capture that information. Place it in here. Client or prospect, what this is just, it's your own reference. So it's not really does anything. So it's just letting you know it's a previous client or a prospect. But this button here, own or rent, this triggers your different report types. You could do a TCA. Is with the own, total cost analysis, or if you want the rent versus own report, you would click on rent. You can, with one record, do both these style reports because it provides you each unique link, so you can be able to go between the two. Moving to the partner email address, when you have an email alert and you want another person to receive it, either a partner, if you have permission from the client, or if you're just doing a marketing report for that partner on that property, put in their email address here. They'll be able to receive the email alerts, the same ones you receive, letting you know that report has been reviewed or viewed. The next, you also can use that either for a partner or if you have an assistant or maybe a processor that you want to be able to keep in the loop. You could place their email address in there as well. I just put support@mortgagecoach.com as my secondary email address. By placing a field in there, in the previous screen, I'll show you where that it's associated to the field here. And then lastly in this field, friendly name. And what the friendly name is your reference. So if you remember when we went into view all, I was able to show you the different types of working copy versus the non-working copy. This is where you put that differentiation. If you don't put the last name and you want to capture it, you can always put it down here so you know if you have the word John and you have a bunch of John files, put the last name down in the friendly name area. That's another way to identify that file. So moving on, I'm going to our goals screen. So every time you use the arrows left to right or just go into a different screen by just clicking on the tab below, that saves your data. So you always want to make sure you move left to right before you exit the report. So going in the goals section, you'll see all I have is marked as purchase a new home. If I had lower the interest rate, you'll see when we come to our assumption screen, let me go ahead and unclick this, we capture information on the current mortgage for comparison for the refinance. If I click on purchase a new home, you'll see when I go down here, those screens have been removed. So that's the trigger between those two fields here. The other information is goal information you want to capture from the borrower. So you could fill this information out. A lot of times I suggest if you're new, keep it to the basic, and as you start learning Edge, use all those fields and capture that data. We also have a notes section here, and this notes section is for your own personal use and will not appear to the client or on the report at all. Moving on to our next screen, I have placed our property value at $350,000. On a purchase, you just need to go ahead and place that figure in here. If you're doing a refinance, you want to put the property value. And again, if you have information like their current mortgage payment that they told you, you'd want to place it in here, as well as if you happen to have the original appraised value, as same as the payoff amount. And you'll see when you hover your mouse over the fields, if there's a description, it will go ahead and display it for you so you understand what that field is. So keeping it basic, you'll also see fields in red. If I had left this information empty, you would get an exclamation mark, just how I have it here. And the reason for that is any field in red, we want data in that field. So if you don't have it, we're just letting you know by that exclamation mark that you need to go back in that screen and fill in some information. Because all my products, the loan amount, down payment are empty, that's why I'm getting my exclamation mark here. Moving on to our affordability screen. Again, the screen, bypass it. You can move on, go quicker through the report, especially as how you're learning brand new. But otherwise, just to let you know what this area is, if I placed in the annual gross income and say they had $500 in monthly debt, I'm providing debt to income ratio in the product section, so I'll show you how to do that. Savings balance, it will go ahead and provide you in the reinvestment strategy screen an opening amount. So if I put in $65,000 at a 0.25 rate, I could show you how you could see if, by capturing this data, if they have enough money for cash to close. So this will be able to assist you there. And if you want to show the tax benefit on your report, you could go ahead and add that. Don't know the tax bracket? We have a button here that will assist you with that aspect. And then we also have the MCC tax credit loan. So if you're doing those type of products, you'll be able to show one with and one without the MCC tax credit. Moving on, affordability, we're just capturing information about the borrower and how much they want to spend. Again, you could fill it out, or you could just move on, again, to speed up that process. But you can see how we moved through those first 4 screens. There was really potentially not that much data for you to fill in before you get to those products. So you can move quickly through it, and you'll notice as you start using Edge, you're going to start building out more and more of those fields. So now you look at the upper right-hand corner. We have no graphs in this area, as well as no information on the debt-to-income ratio or the LTV. As we start filling out this data and we move to the next screen, you'll start seeing this data and the side-by-side comparisons of the graphs. So now what you want to do is place a name for your product. So in this particular case, I went ahead and labeled it as monthly MI. You need to keep this field limited to 12 characters, and you could put any type of information to explain in the report. So usually if I'm doing an FHA loan, I just put the word FHA 3.5% and DN for down. And that's the type of a label you would need to place in here. We're not doing a refi, so let's go into product templates now. So you have quite a, you can see I have product templates created. So I'd like you to go through the drop down. If you have, you might have already created some, or if you're on an enterprise account, the corporate office might have already created some for you. So in this particular case, I'm not going to select a 30-year purchase. I want to build from scratch. When we're done creating the first product, I'm going to show you how to use that copy from feature to really move along quickly within Edge. So now let's go ahead and place our purchase price at $350,000. And I'm going to place this one as 10% down. And you'll notice I clicked on the percent sign. All that button does is switch it from a dollar amount directly to a percentage field. So you'll see that quite few, especially once we get to the fee screens and the monthly cost, how it moves back and forth. So let's go ahead and place in an interest rate of 4.25 and a term of 360. As we start creating our product templates, the 360, you can choose if you want a down payment defaulted or not, will be placed in that template for you. So now let's move to the right, and you'll see the graphs start being built out. This is actually your P&I payment, because we haven't gotten to those monthly cost screen yet. So once we have the monthly cost screen, it will show our full PITI payment. You'll see the debt to income ratio as well as your LTV percentage. And again, these will only display if you put in that appraised value in your assumptions or assumptions area, and same using the affordability screen by capturing their gross income and monthly debt. You'll see in the prepaid interest field, I already have 15 days set as my default. You can also have this as a default, 15 or 30 days, depending what your company's providing as an estimate. And if you hover your mouse over it, you can see that dollar amount. So now let's go into our closing cost details and show you how to build a template, but also to let you know you can always lump sum it if you don't want to go into full detail, place in the APR costs and non-APR costs just by doing that. We also have a points field. You can always enter a negative point, be able to provide that, as well as seeing the dollar amount by hovering your mouse over. So I'm going to remove my point field, and now let's go into the closing cost details and show you how to build those fee templates. So I'm showing you on this first product how to create a product and fee template. When we use the second, or create the second, third, and fourth product, we're going to be using a copy from, so we won't be going into that much detail just the first time through. Please ask the questions that you need. I can always catch it on the second, third time and explain it to you a little more. So there's ways to build fees. If you're on an enterprise account, you just might have some fee templates you'll be able to pull from. If I did such, so say if I went ahead and pulled down my fee template and had it display, you can always then modify your template if you needed to, because the fee might have changed, and you can add a fee. So you'll be able to go ahead and do that rather quickly by adding a fee. So that's one way of working with the fee templates. But let's go ahead and show you how to build it from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and press the trash can to remove my fees. So you'll see that the prepaid interest went ahead and carried over to the screen, and we're starting out with the borrower paid fees of $550.17. So that's our starting total. And now I want to explain the two buttons. We have Add Fee, and to show you how this works, we do have a drop-down with many fee descriptions. And so what I'm going to show you how to build a fee template. I'm just going to show you how to create an APR fee, a non-APR fee, a custom fee, and then how to use your contributions. So with it, let's do an APR fee. So let's type A for admin fee. So I'm going to choose admin fee, and I'm going to place $995 in that field, and I want to make sure it's marked as an APR item. So the best way to start building out your fee templates is by printing a fee sheet from your LOS system. And with that, you'll be able to see the fee label, the description itself, you'll be able to see the dollar amount, and you'll be able to determine if the fee is an APR fee. So that's a great place to start to build out those fee templates. We also can you can do copies either by a save as, and I'll show you in product 2 how to do that. But you can also, if you're doing refi templates and want to add fees to the loan amount, you can always default that in that template. So now let's go ahead on our second line item. Let's go ahead and put in a non-APR fee. So let's go ahead and choose appraisal. So with appraisal, I'm going to go ahead and select appraisal fee here, and then I'm going to put $475. and I'm not going to mark it as an APR item. So the next is, you just go through the list just by using the letter. It'll drop you down to those sections. But if you can't find your fee, we do have a way to be able to create the description to match exactly what your cost sheet has. So to do so, you could go ahead and add custom fee. You could go ahead and put that title in here. And also to show you, if you're working on, say, lender's title or any kind of fee that you want to use a percentage, we do have the percentage going off the loan amount or the property value or sales price. So this is your toggle for that percentage field. And this prepaid is for any item that's not a cost to the loan. So like escrow items, I'll show you how that will display in a moment. But if you're doing earnest money or anything like that, that isn't a cost to the loan, we want to exclude it from our short-term savings. So that's what that field will do. And the short-term savings, I'll explain it when we get to the report and go over that area with you. So once you do a custom fee, then you could go ahead and press OK. And to show you how a percentage and a dollar amount works, you can always put in a percentage. I was working with a client in Virginia, and they had this as one of their stamp taxes. So just to show you how a percentage works here, you can also put a padding. So we'll take that percentage figure as well as a padding if you want to be able to show that. So again, it's pre-GFE, so you want to cover your base. So just to show you how those two fields work together. And then nextly, let's show you how you do a contribution. So if I go to Add Fee, we have created a field called Contribution. So if I type the letter C, find the label Contribution, we have logic built behind this description. And what I'm meaning about the logic is, say you had $1,000 credit that you want to that the client or the borrower is going to receive. You'll notice down here I have borrower paid at $23.17. As soon as I press the tab key, you'll notice it's been reduced by that amount. Now the lender's picking up that $1,000. But you can also choose if the seller or a broker is paying that fee. So you have the option to be able to go ahead and provide a contribution, and the system will let you enter it as a positive, and we understand to offset the borrower costs by that. But sometimes people want to use their own label and not the word contribution. So you can always create a custom field, and then you can label this as, say, lender credit. But when you do a custom, or if you're doing custom fee like this, you need to offset it against the fees. So in this particular case, since there's no logic behind what you just created, you have to create this as a negative to offset the borrower costs. You also have to keep it marked paid by the borrower to, again, offset the cost. So that's only if you want to create a custom label for your contribution is when you have to key in that negative. So I want to be able to show you all those items on being able to create that report. So let me go ahead and remove these contributions for now. Once you're done creating your template, you'll see in the middle button down at the very base, Save as Template. So if you put in here, you can label your template, conventional fees, FHA fees, whatever you're building at the time. And I'm just going to say fees, and I'm putting in today's date. And you don't have to put in today's date. The reason I'm doing it is just to be able to show you how I've created that template, and you know it's today's template. So I can press OK, but also to let you know, if you originate multiple states, you want to be able to build different fee templates. So you can do that, and you can choose what state that fee template is associated with. So you're able to do that as well. So once I press OK, my template has been saved, and it's now in my drop-down. So that's how simple it is to be able to create a fee template. In our second product, I'll show you how we could do a copy or save a second template as you start building it for maybe a conventional. You use the same template as a starting point for your FHA, and then make the modification, and you can always save it. When we go in our settings account, there's ways to create all of them in that area too, but while you're creating a report, anytime a fee is different, go ahead and save it if you have different products and different fee templates. So once you're done with creating your fees and making any modifications, you now want to apply it to your loan. So as soon as you press apply, it totals those figures and places them in this outer area and grades out those fields. So if you ever need a change in any of those, just go back to the closing cost details, make your updates, always press apply to loan. So again, we'll go through it again with product 2. So if you have any kind of questions with the fees, please put it in the chat box so we'll be able to help you out with that. Those of you who have not seen the prepaid escrows, with that, we no longer put it in our closing cost details manually. So let's show you how in our monthly cost screen, how you'll be able to do your monthly reserves. So what I'm doing right off the bat is pressing that % sign to open up my percentage fields. So I'm placing in an estimate of 0.35 for my hazard insurance and 1.25 for taxes. So you can see how it's providing that dollar amount for me. So if you want, this can also be part of your defaults for your product template. You also, if you want to be able to show a dollar amount instead, that's fine too as your estimate. So you could do an estimate as a dollar or a percentage. Now let's move to our MI. Let's go ahead and put in 0.67% as our monthly mortgage insurance, and you see how it calculated on here. And now let's go into our reserves. So I'm going to collect 2 months hazard and 4 months taxes. I also want to collect that 12 months premium as well. So to show you how this works, if you're following along with me and creating your report, just stop and just watch me. Let me just show you how you can go back a screen. Let's go into those closing cost details. You'll see now that there's a dollar amount in your prepaid escrows. And you'll have those line items now are already built in. So you have your reserves for your hazard and taxes as well as the hazard insurance premium. And to show you how these two correlate with each other, I'm going to remove the hazard insurance premium and I'll show you what it does on the monthly cost screen. You'll also notice that these are marked prepaid escrows. Again, they're not a cost of the loan, so we don't want to include them in our short-term savings. So because I removed that premium, I'm going to apply to the loan. And now you'll notice in our monthly cost screen that box has been unchecked because that's how those two fields work with each other. So if you ever need to make a change the dollar amount though, you would either have to change your percentage or change your monthly reserves. If you're following along, there would be a green button right below the Save As Template. But before we press that button, let's save our product template. So click on Save As Template, and you'll notice the name of my product carried over. So you can always modify this or just keep it as that same product name. Once I press OK, you'll see when we go into our next product how you save those templates. So moving on, this is going to be a little quicker now because we don't have to go through each field. I'm going to show you how to use that copy from button to speed up your time creating an edge report. So with that, I put in the title of Lender Paid MI, and the difference between this one and the monthly mortgage insurance is the higher interest rate and no MI. So everything else is going to be the same, my fees and other items, term and loan amount. So I'm going to do a quick shortcut. I press that copy from button, and now I can select whatever product that is similar and closest to this product. So I'm going to choose monthly MI because right now that's the only item I have created. These are all empty so far. And then I'm pressing OK. You'll see how all that data populated for you, so all you need to do now is change the rate to 5% and we're done with the screen. Everything flowed through, mapped through from doing that copy. Now as we move to the right, you'll see how we're adding the second graph. This is including our petty payment because we did do a copy and our monthly cost did carry through. So this is how I was explaining how our fees carry over as well. So if there was a slight difference in this product and fees, go into your closing cost details. Maybe it's going from FHA to conventional. You want to change that appraisal amount and add a few fees. You could go ahead and do that, and before you're done, always save it as a template so you can use it the next time you have that same product. So let's go ahead and remove what I just did. I'm going to go ahead and put this back at 475, so all our products are apples to apples. And then I'm going to press Apply to Loan. Now let's move to our monthly cost screen. And the only thing we have to do in this screen is remove our MI. So I'm going to press that percentage, remove the mortgage insurance, and I'm done with this product. So you can see how quickly it can move by copying or even using product templates. Let's now create our borrower, actually let's call this single premium, so instead of borrower paid. So I'm going to put in single premium. Again, this is rate-wise, it's the same as my monthly MI. So I'm going to choose this product here. So I'm going to press OK. It copied all my data. So the difference between this one and the monthly MI is there's no monthly MI and we have a single premium. So how do we get that single premium field? What I need to do is mark yes as a VA or FHA. And only thing that this does, it's not specific to those two products, but what it does when we advance our screen, it provides us our upfront MI or your VA funding fee field or the single premium field. So in this particular case, I want to hit the percent sign and I'm going to go ahead and have minus 2.25. And this is the tricky part, and I'm hearing that a lot of it, understanding of having this totaled in that 3% area where they might not qualify for a qualified mortgage. So in that aspect, if that's the case, you might not be able to do that product. So I understand this is a little iffy piece right now. But I wanted to show you how it works so then you can use it in the future or if it works with a particular loan. You do have an option to add it to the loan amount or not. So I have this included. All my fees are going to stay the same, so I'm not going into my closing cost details. I just want to move on and remove that rate and my factor. Again, all our reserves are already keyed in for us. So now lastly, let's do the 80-10-10 product. And what's great about this is we're going to learn how to place a second lien on this product. It's not going to have mortgage insurance, so we'll also show you how to do that because technically we're coming in with 20% down. So what I want to do first, let's copy from, and I'm just going to copy from my monthly MI again, pressing OK. So with that, I want to change my down payment. Even though they're coming in with 10%, you need to account for the second lien of 10%. So let's put in 20. And I'll show you how to work this with the second lien. My fixed rate loan is still the same rate, same term, so I'm keeping that information the same. Moving to the next screen, there's no single premium field here. And my fees are all the same, so I don't have to do anything here as well. Moving to our monthly cost, let's remove that MI. Have our reserves, but now you'll notice there's a field down at the base here, and you want to mark it yes. This controls the second lien. So once we have it marked yes, we can move to the next screen and now populate that information on the second lien. And I do want to mention, I know I'm going through this a little quickly. If you're following along, we do have this recorded and it will be posted on our coaching call site. So I'll show you that at the end, but I do want to let you know it is recorded. So let's put in that 10% down amount, so it's $35,000. And I'm going to use an interest rate of 5%, and my term is a 25-year term. I'm keeping this as a fixed rate mortgage for now. We do have an option if you're doing HELOCs, how to do a HELOC. If you want more information on that, we do have a video tutorial that will explain how to key in a HELOC. Moving onward to our next screen, so we have our basic data here. If you have any fees associated with that second lien, this is where you go ahead and place those fees. I'm not going to have any fees, and I'm just going to move on, and that's done. We've created 4 products and really just did work on one, and the other 3 we did copy, so it gets you through that report rather quickly. So now what I want to do is go through, okay, I just realized the time. I apologize, everyone. You have your total interest, net worth, and principal paid. So you'll be able to show the different options here. as well as the adjustment reinvestment strategy, which we're going to go through shortly. So once we have this information, let me explain these areas to you on the report. Contact information, again, this is for yourself. You do have co-borrower if you want to include them on the report, as well as a city. Again, privacy, I just put city and state in these areas. Again, you can put that street address, that's okay too. Moving on to the next screen, you have your payment notes. And the payment notes is just to be able to put some kind of estimate saying these are estimate taxes and insurance are included in your payment. Compliance piece, I'll show you on the report where that comes into play. So moving on, the last three screens are just a review of each of the different quadrants. You can always move through them as I'm doing this way. You can also hover your mouse and go directly to preview and it will take you to this screen. So you can do a save PDF and print, but I'll show you how to do that in the email link. Let's place on our quote date, and now let's go into our preview. So with our preview, you'll be able to see all the difference between the different options. In our summary section here, you have, okay. So in this area, you'll be able to have your monthly MI, and then you have your lender paid MI, and you'll see how I'm highlighting. You can highlight and talk to the consumer on specific items, and the way to do that is just by left clicking, and you'll see that blue box surrounds the cell, and you just click on it and highlight it. You could do the title, and it goes ahead and highlights the whole column. So you can work with this in EdgeLight, which I'll be showing you shortly, and you'll be able to talk to them about monthly MI, then move on to the lender paid MI and single premium. You'll be able to also see the monthly payment, so you'll be able to see that breakdown and when the MI is cut off for each of those products, be able to show them. And then for the second liens, you'll notice when you go into the payment, there's two buttons here. So you can also see the payment stream for the second lien as well. So we have both that information here. In our summary section, you'll see that we have our payment breakdown, so you have the payment breakdown for the P&I for both your first and second, as well as the total pity payment and all your monthly costs. Closing costs, this is where we have your down payment information. You'll see how that second lien is only saying 10%. You have your LTV percentage, as well as you'll see the fee screen repeated here. Then you'll have your fee details, and you'll be able to have that conversation with the consumer. Reinvestment strategy, we'll talk about this in a moment, but this is the area we're going to work at and apply level payments to those products. Our monthly payment savings just discusses all the different the monthly payment options between your first and your second liens. Now in our short-term area, this is providing you information on your unrecoverable costs, and this is what I was talking about for your reserves. So what we do is we take interest in MI and take that total over that 60-month period, and then we add in our closing costs. So you'll see all the closing costs are leveled, so we're really only focusing on the interest and mortgage insurance that's being paid throughout the loan. So then we total that, and that's our comparison. We always take the lender paid MI, and that is the highest, in this particular case, is the highest cost, and you'll notice that there is no graph on that one. So everything then is comparing against this. You're saving $1243 over the lender paid MI over that 60-month period, but check out that 80-10-10 and how much you save. So you have that information here. And then in our long-term area, we do have the home value. If you use a property appreciation rate, this is where it displays. We also display that loan balance at the end of that 15-year period. So now what I want to do is go into generate a link. This is where you have the link for your report will generate. And what you want to do is copy this, and you want to place it in an email and send this out to your client. That's what they're going to click on. Just one moment. I have a question. And that's what they click on to review the report itself. So let me, just one moment, Glenn, let me open this up. What if I want to change the order of the products I'm showing? That's a little, it's a little, you could do it, Glenn. I could show you how in just a moment. Just stick around after the call and I'll be able to show you. So with this, the link, you want to be able to copy and paste that and place it in an email. But before we go ahead and split it and start looking at Edge Live, let's go ahead and show you how to place a video. And the importance of the video, you really want to do it on 100% of your calls. And in this particular case, I'm on a computer that I didn't hook up my video, but the best part you'll see, if you don't have a video, see this box down here, it says record audio only. And that's fine if you're uncomfortable with the camera. Either way, you want to put a video, you want to put an audio on that message. And the reason for it is when you're introducing yourself, you're explaining to the consumer a little bit about the report, and you're doing a call to action. And not only that, say you have a husband and wife, and you're talking to the husband, and then he has to take that information and tell it to his wife. So each time it's being told, it's not directly coming from you. So by having that video on there or an audio message, anyone who views the report is going to receive your message, and that's the importance of it. So you really want to be able to add a video and audio on it. So you just have the record button, your play button. If you want to pause during the middle of recording, you could do so as well, your stop. And if you want to remove it, just press the trash can and that removes the video from the file. So that's how to replace a video. So next week when we ask the video question, I want 100%. Just kidding. So now let's go ahead and show you Edge Live. So what I'm doing is opening a new tab, and I'm pasting that link. So this is, if the borrower clicked on the link, this is what they're going to see. It's the exact same report, but now they have a disclaimer. They have to read. If they don't click this, they can't view the report. So they have to press I understand. Your video will start playing, and then they'll be able to review the report. So let me move this to my other screen, and I'm going to split my screen and let's start working on the Edge Live and be able to show you that real quick. So just one moment here, both screens. So now you should be seeing both of my screens. And let me move your message down further, Glenn. Here you go. So on the left and the, just one moment, sorry people. Trying to get the full report, just one moment. There we go. Okay, so now I have the report. On the right, left-hand side here is the consumers. This is your client, what they're seeing at home. You're in the office, you're on the right-hand side. The difference between these two reports is the Clear All button. When you press Clear all it's doing is if you highlight, say you're talking about the single premium, this is an easy way to have that discussion with them. If you press Clear All, you'll see how that highlighting is removed. So then you can start talking about the monthly MI. You can also, as you're discussing all this information, you can also bounce the graphs. So that will display on it. And this also works with the mobile app. So anything you're seeing here, they'll be able to see it being driven by you through the mobile app as well. So clearing all the data, you can go ahead and clear it all, and then you can see how it clears it on their end. You can even open up the More Info button and be able to discuss all the details about the price amount of their home, their payments, show that P&I payment on the second lien, and really dive into all the information you provide them for the report. So if you're using an email or you're using Excel, they're great pieces, but they don't have this live interaction that I'm showing you here. So you have that transparency with the borrower. You're also providing them trust, and you're speeding up your commitments because you're being transparent and you're showing them all that information. But the other thing I want to point out, it's not just limited to showing what's on the report, but what Edge Live also allows you to do is change your data. So say if I go back into Edge, press close, I want to remove my 80-10-10 product, say. So if I hover over presentation, I'm going to select report. In this screen, you'll see that I have all my products and they're all marked. If I uncheck the 80-10-10 and advance the screen either left to right, that initiates the change, is the movement from left to right or to a different screen. And now you see on the report that there's no more 80-10-10 product. And now we're just comparing the three. So that's the power of Edge Live, is to be able to make changes. So say on the monthly MI, say they only wanted to put 5% down. They wanted to be able to see that. So if I advance the screen, you'll just see that my 80-10-10 just showed up. And now it's going to make the change to be able to reflect my increased amount in my down payment. So you can see that, or decrease. Whoops, let's go ahead and move it to my report. And you can be able to see right there how we changed the loan amount. So that's the dynamic of Edge, is not only to be able to guide them through your products, but be able to talk to them if they want to see difference in changes and adding products and removing products. That is a great way of being able to do it. So that is the Edge Live piece and the recording. And what I would like to do now is answer Glenn's question. It is a little, it's time consuming. It's not difficult if you want to change your order. And we don't have a way, because the way the screens are, where you could go 1, 2, 3, 4. But let me show you. Let me also pull back the screen into a single view. So just one moment, and let me change that. Okay, now you should see my main screen. So with this, everyone, it's a good way of learning also how you can save templates, use them between an open house flyer and a TCA so you have the same report. So even with what I'm showing Glenn, you can use it in multiple options. So let's go to our first product here, monthly MI. And I want to just change my order around between single premium first, monthly MI second. What I would do is when you come down here, just save it as a template, but just save it as, when I do open house flyers and I've created the products for that, I always just put it open house flyer 1, so I know that's open house flyer first product. So in this particular case, I'm just doing TCA 1, knowing this is my first product in my TCA. I want to save it. So I want to be able to upload it again without doing all that work. So I'm pressing OK. And say I want to switch the order between single premium and monthly MI. So let's go to the single premium and do the exact same thing on that. Oops. Click on single premium, go to the last field, save it as a template, and I'm going to call this template as TCA 3 because it's my third product. Again, you can label anything you want. You could put in, monthly MI. Just make it different from your other product. So once I press OK, let's do the switch now. So I'm going to go back a screen. I'm going to go in my product list, and let's find TCA 1. I select TCA 1. It carries all that data over for me. See the change of my 5%. Let's put it back at 10. All my fees carried over and my products. So you would want to make sure that you change that to monthly MI because I'm changing order. And now let's take care of that same option on monthly MI. So now I want to make this a single premium. So I go back to my template. I select TCA 3 because that was my single premium. Type in single premium. And now let's take a look at the report. So for me, I'm just going to presentation, preview, click on that, and take a look. And now the report has changed formats. So you have your single premium first and monthly MI second. So it's a little bit of work, but it will let you do it rather quickly instead of having to re-key everything in. So if anyone else has any questions, please go ahead and place them in the box. Please email us at support. Whoa, I got quite a few questions. What is the command display? Oh, Jim, I'm using GoToMeeting, and I can switch it because it says main screen. So it is a GoToMeeting feature that I'm using. Oh, sorry about that, Glenn. It wasn't changing. Screen's not changing. Can't see what you're doing. Oh, sorry, I didn't put that out. Okay, sorry about that. Some people saw my split screen and some did not. I do have this recorded. When we put it on the recording and you click on it, let me go into Edge real quick. When we go into Help, it takes you to our coaching call page. Here's our coaching call archive, and we place our Thursday calls here. So what I'll do is once I get to find out the time period for that Edge Live, I'll place it in that description so you'll be able to know how to advance to that piece really quickly and review it. On my presentation screen, on the other side? Okay. So I will go ahead and do that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And with that video tutorial, let me switch it over. I heard that you guys only have it on this screen. So this is where I went to the knowledge base. This is where our recordings will be. You would just want to go ahead and click on Home and then click on Coaching Call Archive. And then we have our coaching calls listed here. I will definitely put the part where you weren't able to see and put that number period and provide that to you. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I apologize. And we do have a survey coming up as soon as I end this call. So please fill out that survey. And if you want more information or specific of what I discussed, Glenn, I can do a video tutorial specifically for this. So just reach out to us and we'll go ahead and take care of you. Sorry about that inconvenience. We'll talk to you next week. Please use Edge Live. Please get the recording, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.